somewhere along the way, protecting your peace became code for cutting people off. You see it everywhere online. Post after post telling you to remove anyone who drains you. Distance yourself from negativity and guard your energy at all costs. And look, sometimes that advice is exactly right. If someone in your life is genuinely abusive, manipulative, or constantly causing you harm, then yes, creating distance is a healthy and necessary thing to do. But here is what nobody is talking about. A lot of people are not cutting off truly harmful people. They are cutting off anyone who makes them feel even slightly uncomfortable. Anyone who disagrees with them. Anyone who is going through something hard and needs support. And slowly, without even realizing it, they end up alone. Psychology tells us something important here. Boundaries matter deeply. But so does human connection. So the real question is not whether to protect your peace. The real question is how to protect it without removing everyone from your life in the process. Here is what psychology actually suggests. The first thing to understand is that not every conflict means someone is toxic. Social media loves to label people. Difficult conversation with a friend? Toxic. Family member who said the wrong thing? Cut them off. Someone who disagreed with you? Red flag. But real life is far more complicated than that. Disagreements happen in even the healthiest friendships. Misunderstandings happen in even the closest families. People who genuinely love and support you will sometimes say the wrong thing at the wrong time. That is not toxicity. That is being human. Psychologists are very clear on this point. Occasional conflict is completely normal in any relationship. It does not automatically mean something is broken or that someone needs to be removed from your life. Now, if someone repeatedly disrespects you, ignores your feelings, or intentionally causes you harm, that is a different situation entirely. But if what you are dealing with is occasional tension or a misunderstanding that could be talked through, cutting that person off might actually cost you more than it saves you. Sometimes the healthier path is simply having the honest conversation or gently adjusting your expectations. The second thing psychology points to is that boundaries are far more useful than avoidance. Many people think protecting their peace means avoiding people or situations altogether. Just stay away. Do not engage. Disappear. But psychology consistently points to something more effective than avoidance. It points to boundaries. Boundaries are not walls. They are simply limits you set to protect your mental and emotional well-being while still staying connected to the world around you. They can look like many different things in real life. Maybe you decide not to check your messages the moment you wake up in the morning. Maybe you choose to step away from conversations that always seem to spiral into arguments. Maybe you decide how much personal information you are willing to share with certain people and you stick to that decision. None of these things require you to disappear from someone's life. They just require you to be honest and intentional about how you show up in it. That is not rejection. That is self-respect. The third idea is one that a lot of people need to hear. You do not need to be available to everyone all the time. One of the biggest hidden sources of stress for kind and caring people is this feeling that they are responsible for everyone else's emotions. That they always need to listen, always need to help, always need to have the right thing to say, always need to fix whatever is broken for the people around them. Over time, that kind of pressure becomes completely exhausting. Psychologists call it emotional overload. And it is a very real thing. Here is the truth. Caring about people is beautiful. But you cannot pour from an empty cup. You cannot manage your own life and simultaneously carry the weight of everyone else's feelings. Sometimes protecting your peace means saying simple things like, I cannot talk about this right now. I need some time today to focus on myself. I will check in with you later. That is not selfish. That is not cold. That is a person who understands that their own energy is valuable and that protecting it allows them to actually show up better for the people they love. The fourth idea might shift the way you see your relationships entirely. Not everyone needs the same level of access to you. Psychology recognizes that relationships naturally exist at different levels. Some people are deeply close to you. They know your fears, your dreams, your worst days, and your best ones. Some people are good friends, but not quite that close. Some people are friendly acquaintances you enjoy, but do not share deeply with. The problem happens when we treat everyone as though they belong in the innermost circle of our lives. When we share everything with everyone. When we extend the same emotional energy to a casual coworker as we do to our closest friend. That is exhausting, and it is also unnecessary. You do not have to completely remove someone from your life just because they are not someone you can be fully open with. You can simply adjust the level of time, trust, and emotional energy you extend to them. Keep them in your life at the level that actually feels safe and manageable. That is not dishonest. That is just wise. The fifth thing that can genuinely protect your peace is something called emotional detachment. And before you misunderstand it, this does not mean you stop caring about people. What it actually means is that you stop absorbing every single emotion and opinion that floats in your direction. You stop letting other people's moods become your moods. You stop taking every piece of criticism as a personal verdict on your worth. You stop carrying the emotional weight of every difficult interaction you have throughout your day. Psychologists describe emotionally healthy people as people who can observe a situation without immediately internalizing it. They can be present in a hard conversation without being swallowed by it. They can hear a harsh word without letting it live in their chest for 3 days. They can sit with someone in a difficult mood without catching that mood like a cold. This is a skill. It takes practice. But it is one of the most powerful things you can develop because it lets you stay calm and grounded even when everything around you is not. And the sixth thing, perhaps the most freeing of all, is simply accepting that you cannot change other people. So much of the stress we carry in our relationships comes from this one place. We want people to behave differently. We want them to understand us better. We want them to respond the way we need them to. We want them to finally see what we have been trying to show them for years. And when they do not, we feel frustrated, drained, and sometimes deeply hurt. But psychology is very consistent on this point. People only change when they genuinely decide to change. You cannot force it. You cannot explain someone into it. You cannot love someone hard enough to make it happen on your timeline. Protecting your peace in these situations means making a quiet but powerful shift. Instead of spending your energy trying to change someone else, you redirect that energy toward adjusting your own response and your own boundaries. You let go of what you cannot control and you focus on what you actually can. Here is the bottom line. Protecting your peace does not always mean cutting people off. It does not always mean going quiet and disappearing. Sometimes it simply means setting clearer and more honest limits for yourself. Managing your emotional energy more carefully. Recognizing which relationships truly deserve your time and your attention, and showing up fully in those ones. Real peace is not isolation. Real peace is not a life where you have removed everyone who ever caused you a moment of discomfort. Real peace is learning how to stay calm and grounded and true to yourself while still holding on to the connections that genuinely matter. That is the kind of peace that actually lasts.